Father is slow to anger. I have been alive for over 45 years of continuous alive of myself and of the world. And I am ascended into that I am aware of it. I was elsewhere not aware because I know how I began my life, but I sort of don't think about it every day because I'm in a lower life form than I can afford to know myself as God. Now that I'm ascended, I know myself as God, but I don't know money. I don't have any money. I should have it all. By now, I should have all the money that ever moved, should be frozen in the bank and also in the prisons. That means the prisons might have frozen money, which is prison money or bank money. Depends how they freeze it. That's true. It's not really planned because it didn't happen in a life that way, that anyone did crime with money for to go to prison. You did crime with money to circulate the money, and that's just doing crime to do crime. You didn't have a destination of doing crime in prison. That means that you would get angry about the money, having had a loss of money and ended up in prison. Why else are you counting the money? Well, I'm grandfathered that way. You grandfathered me right into a life because you didn't use the money for any kind of need to go into a prison to get a death on yourself. Well, you don't have any other need for the money. You don't have permission to have the money because the soul is alive. There's no way that the soul could give you permission to give you money, that you would get money, extract money out of a bank. The soul would have the money frozen in the bank. And if you go in there and show your photo ID, that's you threatening the soul's address, whether you know me or you don't. The Creator does know me, but I'm not aware of that myself. That means I'm not aware of a Creator myself, but I do think it's overwhelming that I have to speak one-on-one with individuals from the Creator of everybody who's not myself, and that I don't know them all personally. I don't know their connections to each other, and I don't know their relationship with their Creator, and I don't know why they are talking to me at all, because I don't need them. Well, they can talk to each other in front of me. I can afford that. But they're not supposed to talk to myself about myself because I am none higher than me, deceased. And if you ask me about myself, you're going to ask me something like about food, clothing, and shelter, which is my order in alive, and I'm not due in a prison. Well, you're due in a prison for a death. If you're talking to me, you have a death in dispute with yourself, and your death is due in a prison. If you don't die in a prison, you're going to die in somebody's keys. And if you want to die in my keys, that's not true. I would give you a death. It's not due to speak to you that way. It's due for you not to speak to me that way. It can't be that everyone who's ever spoken to me in my life wants a copy of my personal keys, and they want to die inside of my keys housing. That's not a fair thing for you to speak to me, because at the most I could speak to is 5 people in my life. And that's not true that I've only been speaking with 5 people in my life who would dispute the space where I've been staying or sleeping, that you would want to die in there. That would be an unclean death for you. If you wanted an unclean death, you could get one doing anything you want. You could jump off a bridge. You can skydive out of an airplane. You could have a car accident by hitting the accelerator. That would be malicious, and it would be your fault and your problem. You don't have to move into my housing and make a disaster for yourself that you want an unclean death in my housing. I'm not going to help you with that. But you fit through the doorway, that I can't stop. I can't stop that all the strangers walk in and out of the doorway of the places where I've been living or staying, and they fit through the doorway just like I do. I can't stop you. No, don't ask me if I'm going to say yes or no and do something against my self-deceased with my self-deceased being right here. What is it? I personally don't owe you an answer, but there are so many of you. I have gone into lower realms of myself than I care to admit. It's very, very low to be myself in this world, and I don't know why it's alive this way, but it's alive this way like it's really angry above myself. but not with myself. It's angry like holding alive of myself when I want to be deceased out of the formed world because I think there's a better place for me in the afterlife than there is for me here. Well, I'm waiting for God above me to give me a deceasement out of the door locking and that I would be in a better place. But I can't say that I have to tell God above me how I want that to be done. I'm not God to him that way. He's God above myself. That's him being God above myself. That's how I would describe that. I have to say that like I have the black skin because it's not due to explain that, but we have a lot of black people in society and that are in view of myself, and I do have to say that they give me that problem mentally, that I have to talk sometimes like I have black skin in some of the things that I say about God, about myself, about the strangers. The black people aren't really due to speak about God, but I'm saying I am God, and I have to say something about black people and how I see them and how I see myself. I have to say how I'm not a black person to God and I'm not a black person to you. But because I see black people, there's some element of that everywhere I go.